Well, folks, I had another motorcycle accident 6 weeks ago.
Oh!
Yeah. Took all the skin off from here to here, all of it off there. The reason this isn't healing like the last one healed in 12 days is I put the lime juice on it, and then the honey, and then the coconut cream, and then the meat. But this one didn't, because when I didn't hit pavement. There was a road under construction in the Philippines, and they used big rocks, not gravel, and they used layers of gypsum. Gypsum's what they use in drywall because it's very drying, 5 times more drying than sulfur. So they had layers of gypsum on this, and they had a section where there was a part of the road done. It was coned off so you couldn't use it, and then this was gravel with gypsum. And the traffic is supposed to wait for one lane, one direction to finish before the next. They didn't wait for me to finish. And a van came barreling 100 kilometers an hour, knocked me right off the bike and hit the gravel. Didn't even stop.
Oh my God! It's just
so this is all gypsum in here. You can see it looks like sandpaper. And the lime in Philippines is it's not real lime, it's like orange. So, even though it's very green and small, it's more like orange. It's even orange flesh with huge seeds.
So what would be something that would be drawing that would pull the gypsum out?
Well, gypsum's going to draw itself out.
Yeah.
And I did find that aloe helped. I strapped a piece of aloe to it, which helps for about a week. Mm-hmm. But I had to let the white cells just take it out, so I lost a lot of white cells. It's like very thin right now because I lost a lot of fat. The white cells are made of fat. So to pull the gypsum out, it's almost finished now, but it's still very painful.
How long is that? How many weeks?
It's been 6 weeks.
6 weeks?
When I had the accident 2 years ago, when I split this femur down the center and broke the tibia, the tibia here, broke the tibia off into the femur joint. That took me only 6 weeks to heal, and I had twice as much skin gone. This whole bone here was shaved off. This bone was shaved off, and this bone shaved off. This healed fast because I didn't land on the gypsum like the leg did. So this skin was all gone. This was ripped all the way down to the bone. And all that was gone to the bone. But you see how quickly those without the gypsum. Another problem was I went to get some honey, and this woman sold me honey that wasn't truly honey, and I didn't find that out in 9 days of putting this other junk on. What they do is they make a honey. They've got a fruit in Philippines that tastes, that if you put it with sweet and low, that's what they do. It was sweet and low. It tastes like Thai honey. So I had just come from Thailand, so I used Thai honey. I thought, they get Thai honey here. So after putting that on for 9 days, and it was looking worse and worse, and I knew it wasn't from just from the gypsum. So I asked the taxi driver to help me apply it, to work on it, because it was still open this far, and it was quite a mess. So he came in and he was going to put the honey on. I said, wait a minute, this isn't honey. This is a mixture that they make, and they call it Thai honey, and it's really not. They make it with sweet and low, or aspartame, and all these chemicals. So I was drinking. I drank about a cup of that, plus put it on my leg for all that time. So for 9 days, I poisoned my body with this stuff. And then it caused an insulin detox. A lot of people who take insulin, as they get older, the insulin builds up, and it causes toxicity like this. And of course, they have their toes amputated and feet on up. So I hadn't had insulin since I was 22 years old, but for some reason that forced an insulin detoxification. So and I used to shoot it here in my thigh, because I didn't like shooting in my arms. I shot in my arms a lot. So I started getting the same detoxifications of insulin, and smelled exactly like the insulin I used to shoot up. So I had a big sore here that got this big, one on the back of the arm and another one here. You can
Oh
still
my
see
God.
these here.
My goodness.
Those are from the
All
insulin?
Insulin coming out of the body,
Coming out,
toxins
and I
to the
haven't
body.
had insulin for 42 years.
And how did you detect that that was what it
The
was?
smell,
Oh.
just like the stuff I used to inject.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
got that sweet, odd odor to it. At least they did. I haven't had it in 42 years, so I don't know what it's like now. It's the insulin like now.
I never took it.
Oh, you never took it?
They wanted me to, but I never would
I
do
don't
it.
care.
So I will force it to pus a little bit,
She likes it.
and most of the time it will run the liquid the same color as the insulin.
And you will smell, that smells just like
Oh my
insulin.
God. You
Yeah.
force it out of there?
Yeah, I just bring it. See, I won't break these
What are you eating?
because I want it to keep pussing until it's clean.
Go ahead.
You will stop pussing once it's clean. Now, most people will run to the doctor. The doctor will say, "Oh, you've got a staph infection. We need to give you a lot of antibiotics." So what happens? The poisons stay in the body. It poisons the body stops digesting. It can no longer detoxify. So then all that matter would stay in there and cause problems. Now, since I was about 16 years old and started taking the insulin, I had these lumps in my thighs, and my thighs were always very large. Right now, and you can see it on this leg too, a little bit, the insulin. But my legs are thinner than they've been since I was 15 years old, 15 and a half, since I started taking insulin. But I had huge lumps in there that were sore. So anytime I got a massage, even if it were a light massage, I would have pain there. So I would say you have to be very gentle with my calves. So here I can push. There's no more lumps. So you just have to get through these things. You can't freak out because the medical profession, they get all their training in emergency wards. So everything is panic time. So, and then the pharmaceutical industry wants them to think that way because anybody will make a bad decision in panic. Fear. So that's how they get you to take
initially, when
medication.
that happened to you, did you just get lime on it right away? Or?
Like I said, the lime they have there aren't truly limes.
Oh.
They're oranges, really. They're tiny oranges. So that didn't work. I would have, if I had had the lime, it probably would have
Stack of
coated
chairs.
both insulin as it was coming out and the gypsum. But they didn't have the lime, and plus I didn't have the proper honey. I didn't have honey at all
On the other side of
until
Lisa.
that taxi driver showed
Your
me
son.
that it wasn't honey, and then he
Thank
took me
God.
to a place and we got honey right from the beginning.
Wow.
And then the next day, 90% of the pussing stopped. 90% of the irritation stopped.
So will that scar over or not? Do you think that'll scar? Because
Probably
of the honey?
not.
Oh.
This right here was just like this and this, and there's no scarring there. So it takes time. You just have to be patient. You can't freak out and panic.
So you put the honey on the scars?
So now what are you doing when you're home?
I don't do anything but put urine on it. Anything else irritates. Coconut cream, anything irritates me, except urine. So I put old stinky urine on it.
And that does what?
And that keeps it from drying out, getting very sore, and it soothes it. Now the urine is nothing other than the blood that's ever in the blood without the red and white blood cells. So all the nutrition that's in your blood is what's in the urine with a little ammonia added. So when I put that on, it gets a good supply. Now right now, everything that it's getting up to the skin is irritated because of the chemicals. So when I put the urine on, it's getting a fresh coat of nutrients like it would from the blood from the outside in.
And just
And
once a
settles
day?
it.
Once a day? Or a couple times?
I'd usually do once a day.
And you just pour it on, or do you?
I pour it on. Yeah. If I run my fingers over these areas right here, they're like crystals from the mineral buildup and the insulin, because the insulin has a tendency to crystallize. So it's very sharp. So if I touch this, it'll stab inside and be painful. Even my pants can cause pain if they rub it the wrong
And
way.
how about here, the one on your shoulder?
I just live with the pain. I just ignore it as much as possible.
And the shoulder, you put urine on that too?
Yes. Yep.
Huh?
But that's almost all over. These were huge.
Did those pus out too?
See, I used to shoot, because I was right-handed, I used to shoot my insulin in this arm until I couldn't take it anymore. Then I started shooting it in mainly in this side, but once in a while on this side.
So you'll probably feel better after, because all the
Yeah, that's
crap
what I
is coming
mean.
out.
I think I'll not have that same soreness in the calf now. I'll be able to run better, and I'll be able to take massages better.
Are you swollen quite a bit?
Oh yeah, this whole calf, this whole ankle was swollen.
Yeah, your ankle's
But if you consider the size of my calf,
yeah, you have big
normally my
swollen-
calves were huge.
Yeah.
So actually my calf is smaller,
Oh my God.
even with the swelling. So when the swelling on both legs goes down, my calves are going to be as small as they've been since I was probably 13 years old.
And you knew you didn't break anything.
No, didn't break anything.
You didn't have any x-rays or you didn't go anywhere.
No. Didn't have to. I mean, when I had the accident 2.5 years ago, the pain was so excruciating in the knee and the shin that I knew I had broken.
Did you ever have a follow-up with that doctor?
No, I wanted to wait till the leg could straighten, and still not completely straightened.
Oh.
Did you have short pants on when you were straight across all of it?
Oh.
Short pants, short sleeve shirt, with a helmet. Did have a helmet on.
That helped, huh?
Yeah, a rock flew up and hit me here, so I had a abrasion there and a couple here. This time I tumbled. I just didn't let myself slide. When I saw that I was falling over, I kicked the bike away, hit the gravel, and then flipped. So I probably didn't skid on this for more than probably 2 feet before I started tumbling.
So the lesson is?
Lesson is,
Don't ride a motorcycle.
don't trust any of the, when I drove back, see, I left at sunrise from the hotel to go down Palawan Island. And I had just gotten there the night before, late. And I'd rented the motorcycle just before this place closed at like 9 o'clock. And it was just a motorbike, 125. It wasn't like a big motorcycle like when I had this accident. That was a big Harley, about 350-pound bike. This was, probably 150, 175 pounds. And I left very early on a Sunday morning to go take a tour down the end of the island. And they said most of the island doesn't have paved roads. So I knew I was getting into, but I had no idea there were crazy drivers that had no respect for anybody on a motorcycle or motorbike. So when as soon as I had the accident, I was 2 hours down the island, and I had to drive 2 hours back. And I saw everybody on a motorbike. When a car would come, they'd go over to the side and almost slow down to a stop. So that is, now I've been on 6 other islands in the Philippines, and nobody drove like that. But here they do. No respect for motorcyclists. So,
Well, I thought you were going to say not to trust anything that anybody says that's honey and this and that, rather than...
I mean, I was really upset with that
You
woman.
couldn't taste it? You
Well,
couldn't
see, they learned to mix it so well.
Because usually
It tastes like tastes identical to Thai honey. The thickness and everything. But it didn't react that way. I was getting dizzy, I was getting nauseous, and I thought it was just the gypsum getting into the blood. And it was the honey. It wasn't until the 9th day till I got the true honey. And then a lot of the symptoms stopped right away.
So, you applied the honey for what? To heal?
Yeah, it helps heal.
Just heal. That's
You
good.
read my books?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I talk about it increases healing 5 times.
Oh.
I agree with that. I use honey for any kind of injury I get. Fabulous. And what's the true honey you're talking about?
Well, I got a Filipino honey. We just went to some beekeeper. No, there were 3 keepers there, 3 people taking care of the honey, and they gave me honey straight from the hive.
So, I'm in doubt of the honey here, because they said if the honey crystallized, that means that it's real honey. So, I have honey that's just liquid, stays liquid.
Yeah, well, all honey will crystallize if it's raw.
Yeah.
Sage honey can take up to a year and a half to crystallize. It depends upon the honey.
So how about if it doesn't crystallize in 3 months? Let's not say.
That's not still, it
honey.
depends upon the type of honey. It could take anywhere from, 3 months to a year and a half for honey to crystallize.
So the question is that how do I get to know that's real honey?
You have to go to the place who makes the honey.
Oh, okay.
What brand is it?
It's a brand that they sell at Henry's, Cream of Co-op, one of the health food stores. No?
You got to say unheated. We do not heat this honey at all in processing.
It
I have
says
a
raw.
list of the good ones.
It says raw.
Raw doesn't mean a thing. Raw, they can heat it up to 170 degrees until can't be heated over 93 degrees.
Oh. So in the book just say raw unheated honey. Is there?
In my book?
Yeah.
No, it says we do not heat this honey in processing, unheated, and then you have to ask the beekeeper.
Okay.
But it's got to say unheated. Raw doesn't mean a thing. And I say that in the book.
Okay.
And don't
Raw
take his
doesn't
word
mean
for
a
it.
thing. No, don't take the word for
Go
it.
watch him
Paul.
take it out of the hive. That's the
Oh,
only
my
way to know.
Yeah, it's the only way to truly know.
Little beekeepers won't eat the honey. Only the big ones do.
No, little ones will do it too, the bottle faster.
They also heat it when it crystallizes. They'll water bath it up to 120.
Yep.
And then I'll ask them, have you ever heated the honey? And they'll say no.
Yeah.
And then I ask them, what's your belt heater on your belt heater for your 5-gallon bucket or your water heater? What do you set the temperature at? And they'll tell me 120 to 140. Thank you very much for the information.
They said it's from a small beekeeper close by. Small.
You just have to go to them. You have to say, listen, when you spin some honey, I'd like you to bottle some for me right then and there. Don't strain it.
Okay.
Because you want it completely unheated. Because what they do is they spin it, put it in cauldrons, it will set, it'll get very thick, and then they have to heat it to pour it fast.
But the guy in the store didn't want to give me the beekeeper's address.
It doesn't say on the bottle?
No.
Doesn't say a name on the bottle? It's supposed to have a name and an address of the producer.
No, he gets from a bulk. He
Oh, then,
put in plastic.
then if he doesn't give it to you, I'd take it back to him.
Is that right?
Yep, I wouldn't take it.
Okay. But so I don't know where there is a beekeeper.
Well, there's some honeys that are available here. You can get right out of the store. There's Y&S. There's quite a few of them, really raw. Those brands.
Oh, yeah. Pacific, the Pacific.
Honey Pacifica, but they don't sell that in regular market.
No, but yet we can order it and they,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to start around. So let's start with you, Daniel. You have a question?
Yes, you previously said grasses are acidic. Once you told me if I want any...
They're acidic to the blood. They're alkalinizing in the intestines. Exactly the opposite of what you want.
But you said if I wanted to take some wild-grown grass, that's not wheatgrass, it's not sweet, especially for the mineral content and salt content for that, I could put a couple ounces in some milk. Besides those grasses, is there a reason you don't use kale or dandelion, spinach in your juices? Are they also acidic?
Well, I said you can use those, but never more than 5% of the juice because they will be very detoxifying or chemically changing to the body. So any kind of herb, that is that strong, you need to keep it at a low ratio, no more than 5%.
What do you mean chemically changing? What does it change?
It can change your blood, it can change your intestines, it can change the chemistry of everything. All of a sudden you find yourself way out of whack.
You get kidney
I've seen it.
stones or...
You can get all
any
kinds of,
disease,
I've seen all
illnesses?
kinds of issues,
Uh-huh.
endlessly issues.
So when should you use those? When should you use any of those?
Any of those times you want to use it, I mean, it doesn't
what?
matter as long as it's never more than 5% of your juice.
What would be the purpose then? Pick what the nutrient is in that particular...
If you're after that particular effect of that particular herb.
Like dandelion might be your liver. Would it be like... How do
Well,
you look
dandelion is very high in vitamin C, so it helps the the citric acid cycle of utilizing fat as fuel, so it could give you more energy. There's different things that you can do with dandelion. Some people take it to clean the liver and the blood. Can't say it necessarily does that, but the vitamin C is very good for oxidizing fats to be able to use as fuel, as energy.
We should be able to get everything we need without all those. Just stay with the green juice.
No, I'm saying they're all good if you can get them organic, and juice them and fresh.
So we have clover in our yard. They're staying with me now. We have all that clover, and we were thinking about fresh organic clover grass. We were wondering if we could juice it.
Out of your yard?
I got all organic soil a few years ago, but
Doesn't matter. You got chemtrails galore.
so don't use. Otherwise,
And you had all those fires, that sent you into a tizzy, and a lot of people into a tizzy. So all that, those burned home products that burned up in the homes, which are highly toxic, radioactive,
So it gets in the
everything.
soil.
It
Got in
gets
the
into
soil.
the
It's
soil.
going to keep going on for years
Yep.
now.
For years. That'll go on for 10 years.
There's still soot from that coming off my roof.
Yeah.
I
Should hose that and get it
Get
off
down,
right
yeah,
away.
hose it
You
down.
don't want to be breathing that a little at a time.
How do you know then
Yeah,
that
it
you're
goes
getting
down.
it from somebody who doesn't have the same issue? If you buy it organic somewhere, how do you know they might?
You don't-
Yeah, everywhere's toxic now. I mean,
Not
where can
unless
you
you
get it?
follow up and say, give me the name of the producer, and then you call the distributor, and then the distributor will give you the producer's name, and then you go through those channels. I've done it.
Is anywhere not toxic though? I mean, everywhere's got toxins in the air now. I mean, we're
It's true, but I wouldn't trust
More
anything
extreme.
around here.
in those places.
In fact, I stopped buying cherimoyas and avocados from down here for
Really?
the last year since that fire.
Where do you get them from?
The Fresno area, the lower part of Fresno, in Santa Maria area.
So that goes for the organic farmers that are local here in
Absolutely,
California?
absolutely.
I mean, that's what we're all eating.
You have to be
Yeah.
careful. Yep.
They're also being watered with fluoride water.
Yep.
For this season, because it started last season.
So you ever keep lingering with the toxins.
There's a lawsuit
You got
right
the
now to
question
stop
answered?
that, but
Really?
Okay. Do you have a question?
The one
Yeah,
by the people.
just a couple of weeks ago, I had another one of these major stomach pain episodes, for 3 hours, 4 hours, and I've been getting them less frequently. But I really didn't know what. I was trying to eat cheese, but it's hard to kind of keep that down. I was thinking
And
about
what
that
were
crazy.
your symptoms?
It was just nausea, vomiting, just
No
serious
diarrhea?
stomach pain. No, not at all.
Okay. What happens when you get nauseous and have vomit? Poisons dump into the stomach. For example, now she'll put bacteria on you. That's what. Whenever a dog or cat licks you, they're putting bacteria, janitorial bacteria on, so eat the dead cells and the dead tissue. We used to have a lot of salmonella. Now that we take showers and baths and we're so toxic in our environment, the 6,000 varieties of salmonella that used to live on the skin and eat the skin are no longer present. So dogs and cats will come up and lick and give you a dose, of their bacteria from their mouths. Well, we have more bacteria than they do, so you can lick your own. And,
Lick your
I do
wounds.
that. I do that.
Lick your wounds.
I'll put saliva on here and go over it after I put the urine on it. Because the urine's, because of the ammonia, the urine is antiseptic, and I need to reinfiltrate the bacteria. So,
Why don't you just pee on it? Why don't you get the old urine?
because the old urine doesn't absorb the same for some reason. Don't know why.
so it's better
I
fresh
think
or better old?
probably as you let it sit, the ammonia breaks down, and the antiseptic effect leaves.
So it's better fresh,
No, it's better non-fresh.
non-fresh.
Because if you have it fresh, your ammonia's... See, the body creates... The kidneys manufacture ammonia to be able to separate the red and white blood cells from the blood serum. If you pissed out all of your red and white blood cells from your blood and not just the fluid out of it, you'd be anemic all the time. You couldn't function. So, and you can only replace about 4 to 5 tablespoons of red blood cells in a day. So if you urinated, let's say, a quart a day, that would be a huge amount of blood loss, red and white blood cell loss. So the ammonia is very active when your kidney first makes it to separate the red and white blood cells from it, so you can lose fluids. You lose fluids to get rid of some toxins sometimes, but that's not the major reason. It's usually to keep the body warmer. You'll notice that when you get cold, you urinate a lot to thicken the blood. And then when you get very warm, then you stop urinating so much and your blood thins itself. You have more fluid in the bloodstream, less red and white blood cells. So the kidneys are mainly for that, regulating body temperature. The spleen can help there because it holds extra red blood cells. Spleen doesn't manufacture anything like the kidney does, but the spleen holds excess red blood cells. Like let's say when you were a cave person, you're swinging around in a tree, branch broke and another branch, as you're falling down the tree, cut your jugular, and you lost a cup of blood. Now you'd be very anemic with a cup of blood loss, and you'd probably be good dinner because you wouldn't be able to run fast enough from a tiger or lion. So the body has this reserve of red blood cells in the spleen, so that you can dump up to almost 2 pints of blood, red blood cells, right back into the bloodstream, so you're not anemic. That was a long answer. Anyway,
Good answer.
the poisons dump into the stomach. That causes nausea. Anytime you have nausea, poisons are dumping into the stomach. And it's a good passage for that because we have hydrochloric acid there. The highest concentration in our bodies is in the stomach. So it's like the Indians, when they used to get a snake bite, a poisonous snake bite, they knew it went to the stomach, so they'd try to get some milk or some corn, which has a lot of hydrochloric acid precursors, or beets, root beets, and eat those and shave those. And they usually kept some around, buried, in case there were poisonous bites from a snake, scorpion, or spider, whatever. And they would drink the milk or eat the corn or the beets, and that would create more hydrochloric acid and help neutralize the poison. You know that you can take any kind of rattler poison, the worst in the world, the copperhead, and you mix a little hydrochloric acid and it neutralizes it like that. So that's what that's what happens with our stomachs, used that way. So when you get nauseous, your body's dumping the poisons there, wants to vomit it, or enough hydrochloric acid. And when you get nauseous, more hydrochloric acid. The more nauseous you get, the more hydrochloric acid dumps in. More of the stomach manufactures dumps it into the stomach interior. So it neutralizes the poison. However, you can eat cheese, raw and salted cheese, and it will absorb those poisons, so you don't have to use so much hydrochloric acid, and you don't have to experience all that nausea.
Why unsalted?
Because when you have salted, it fractionates the molecules, acts like cooked, and you will reabsorb and digest the cheese. And you don't want to digest the cheese. You want the poisons to send through the body and pass out with your feces.
You're talking about a snake bite. If you got
Any kind of a poisonous bite.
So with the salt, would sea minerals do the same thing? That's bad too, or?
Sea minerals won't do it as well. However, clay can. Now there was a man in 1917 or something, or 1890 something. I forgot the dates completely, but I remember the story. He advertised that he was going to drink a half a cup of arsenic. And they publicized it. He made a ton of money. And only on his deathbed did he give the secret away, because he pulled the stunt several times. He drank a half a cup of clay an hour before he drank, or 40 minutes, something like that, before he drank the arsenic, so the clay absorbed it.
What kind?
Minerals won't do that. Pardon?
What type of clay?
They didn't say. I like to stay away from any clay that's from molten lava because you've got a lot of molten metals. Your minerals like calcium, phosphorus, potassium, and magnesium are alkalinizing ones. When they reach volcanic temperatures, they go off into a gas, so they're no longer part of that rock. So, and then when the algae in water starts eating that algae, and moss eat rock, and all plants eat rock. So when the water mixes and the plants, whether it's algae or whatever, breaks those down into a clay, it's still a toxic latent clay. It's clay that I won't eat.
Which one would you use?
Any from, Terramin clay is the best. It's from an old aqua bed. Do you have a question?
Can I just follow up on that?
What
So
kind
the
of
intestine
clay?
is from the toxins just irritating the stomach, right?
Absolutely.
And I usually make myself throw up, and I feel much better after that.
Absolutely.
But it didn't. I mean, it just kept on going. Is that just because there's more?
Constantly dumping.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
There's something very poisonous they wanted to get rid of.
Yeah.
And I've seen people nauseous for 6 months.
Wow.
But you can see that it wasn't dumping into your bowels. If it were dumping into your bowels, you'd have diarrhea.
Yeah. So, and I also did the cheese and the clay, but that really didn't help. But just more of that. Keep on doing as much
Absolutely.
of that. And dilute the clay, or just like
Always
clay?
take moist clay,
Moist clay.
Yeah.
So put in water.
because you got probiotics involved there.
Okay.
So protect the walls. You could also have some aloe vera, which can coat the stomach,
Okay.
and then you won't have so much pain.
But milk wouldn't really be a good idea. But...
Milk is okay, but it's still slightly acidic,
Okay.
and the aloe vera will coat it without doing that. Also, egg white can coat
Oh.
the stomach.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, you have a question?
Yeah, I read your book this morning, and what I wanted to understand is you said that if you ate 3/4 of a cup of the unheated honey, it would help heal the pancreas over a period of time. So my question is, having so much sugar, honey, being so sweet.
Honey isn't sugar. When
Okay.
it's completely raw.
Okay.
The bees collect the nectar. Nectar's 90% carbs, so it's sugar. When the bee collects it, it swallows it. It produces an insulin-like substance which converts 90% of those carbs into enzymes for digesting proteins and fats. Let me give you an example. While I was in Thailand a few months ago, 3 months ago, before I went to the Philippines, I went to see some patients on the Koh Samui Island, and they spearfish. So I went spearfishing with them, and one of the big fish that we caught had these big vertebrae, and his Thai girlfriend, who's almost 50 years old, she is 50. I mean, she grew up in the old country where they eat lots of raw food, so she's a total raw fooder and eats everything perfectly, even better than her American boyfriend who's on the diet. So she's the ideal primal dieter. She'll go in and pick all the Japanese beetles off of her flowers, and all day long she'll eat them live. Like that. So, you have to understand, Thais eat a lot of insects because there isn't a lot of meat there because they over-hunted, and the population got so large. So they eat a lot of insects. I mean, scorpions, cockroaches that are this big. So they eat all these things. And for them, eat them raw.
Alive.
Yeah, even
I
alive.
don't know.
Even alive. So she had these vertebrae, big vertebrae like this. And her teeth are so good. She's 50 years old, perfect teeth, and she's eating these bones. I wish I could have eaten a bone, So, she gave me a little piece of one, and I just kept it in my mouth for hours. I took half a teaspoon of honey and put it in my mouth with the bone and disintegrated the bone in 5 minutes.
Wow.
But
So,
my question is, eating the honey, isn't that going to spike the blood sugar?
what did I just say? You've got insulin in the honey.
Oh,
The
okay.
bee has created an insulin. If you heat that honey over 93 degrees, you distort the insulin, it goes back to sugar.
Got it.
You're going to spike. However, honey can cause old toxic glycogen in your body to detox. Then you're going to spike. But you never look for your sugar level, you look for symptoms. If you're passing out, if you can't breathe, you've got an insulin problem. That's the only time. If you're passing out, not because you're getting up too fast, but you don't have enough blood sugar to run the brain and nervous system and lungs, you've got diabetes. 85 to 90% of the people who the medical profession have put on insulin and called diabetic are not diabetic.
What are they?
Yeah, what are they?
Just whatever?
They're just sugar problems. They have sugar balancing sugar level problems.
Well,
If you've got a true insulin problem, you're not metabolizing your sugars to run your brain and nervous system. You're not going to breathe. You're going to go into a coma in 3 days. If you don't have any of those symptoms, you are not diabetic.
I read that to tell if you have like an insulin problem, if you weigh yourself in the morning, and then if you're a pound and a half to 2 pounds the next day, that's
Absolute bullshit.
that
Absolute
right?
bullshit.
Okay.
You can have water retention.
Right.
Okay.
You can have high blood pressure will do the same thing. You have to understand the pharmaceutical industry makes their money off of you taking drugs. They're going to do everything they can to get you to take drugs. Every test in the world they're going to show you need to take drugs. Now, like let's say cholesterol. Now they used to say that 50 years ago cholesterol levels of 300 were okay. Now they're not saying that. They want people to take all the anti-cholesterol medications to lower cholesterol, so they've dropped it way down into 150 and 160
Right. Keep making it possible.
to keep making money.
Right.
It's all about making money.
Can I ask one little small question? That's it.
I really need to go
Okay.
around. There's so
All right.
many people here.
Sure.
Yes, Lisa.
Okay. I've had a symptom since I was a kid, and it started to get kind of bad at different times. And what it is when water's running, I'll get like a pain right where I think spleen's supposed to be, or like in the corner.
Spleen, yeah.
And so I don't know what that is, and it started after I was detoxing now and getting better. It started to come on like I'll get in the bathtub and all of a sudden I have this pain where it's just like doubled over pain there. But it's water triggers it. Not drinking it, just being around water. Or even the running of the water can start it. Do you have any idea what that might be?
I can take a wild guess to
Like
say
fluoride?
that you're allergic to water and the body's just warning you.
The chemicals in the water, maybe? Some type
Could
of
be the
chemical,
chemicals in the water. I mean, in
I wonder if it's
LA,
fluoride.
there are 93 chemicals, 193 chemicals in the water. When I used to live in LA, in the city LA, whether it was Beverly Hills or Venice, or the Canyon, Laurel Canyon, when I lived in those 3 places, I would get into the bath with nothing in it. I would be out in 7 minutes, trembling, shaking, passing out. That's how toxic it was. So I learned that I had to put milk, vinegar, and sea salt in the water, a certain amount of it, to control that.
Why
Neutralize
is sea
those
salt?
toxins.
If you are opposed to salt, you're putting sea salt in the water.
Taking it internally. If you take it internally, do you know the salt is it's more explosive than nitroglycerin. One lump of salt this big, this pure sodium salt, there's no chloride, there's no potassium, there's no iodine connected with it, is more powerful than an atomic bomb. When your body takes in sodium chloride, potassium sodium, or any of those table salts, it fractionates, it separates that, and that sodium becomes an isolated substance. And it'll start causing tiny explosions in your blood. So when your cells go to eat, there's a smorgasbord of nutrients, anywhere from 93 to 117 nutrients, all coupled together. So when a cell eats, attracts the ions, opens up, takes it in, it gets a whole smorgasbord, a complete balanced diet. When you eat salt, it causes these little explosions, and all these things will fractionate into as small as 7 to 23, even 30 molecules is about the most. The cell is never getting a balanced diet again. That's what salt does.
So that would be even the case with like sea salt.
Doesn't
or
matter what
minerals,
salt,
whatever.
it's concentrated sodium. And it's not sodium in a plant, where your ions are properly bound with other nutrients. There's no regulation on it. You can even chill a plant and put salt in the ground. And you'll kill a plant quickly unless that plant is built to handle sodium, concentrations of sodium.
So why is it there are so many animals that go to salt caves? Like,
But they only do it on a rare occasion.
they get a lot of it, right?
Yeah, but they also have problems for a few days. And that way they won't touch it again for another year, 2 years.
They must need it, but
No, they like that salty, sweet thing. They have a mineral need, and maybe they're not eating enough dirt because they're in desert. Because mainly, all animals eat dirt with their food. All animals eat dirt with their food. Every one. So you're getting lots of minerals. But in a desert, it isn't like that. There's not a lot. There's sand that doesn't break down as easily as the minerals in dirt. Plus, they've got a long digestive tract to take them through, to hold up and utilize the minerals. But when you have salt blocks, then you're dealing with all these side effects and dehydrating the body. Well, you have to eat salt to hydrate the body. Well, if that's true, you could frickin' drink the seawater. But what happens if you drink seawater? You will die. You will dehydrate. You got that? You will dehydrate and die from salt water. And they say that the salt water in the ocean is the same concentration of salt in the blood. Doesn't make any difference. In the blood, it has many nutrients utilizing it in precise ways. In seawater, you don't have that. If we were fish, it'd be a different situation, but we're not fish.
So can you tell me what I would do when I have that reaction? What would you use, like milk or...
Well, I would put a hot water bottle there very quickly.
So get out of the water. Because
Yeah.
if I even add all that stuff to water, is it probably still not enough to chelate everything?
May not be
Or
enough.
I also thought it
Since
vaporizes.
your water belt now is so toxic with all those fire contamination, I double the amount of stuff that... What you might do is just double the vinegar. Somebody's stopped over here.
So what does the spleen do that would make it
No, it's this one.
detox?
No, it's
Hey,
not.
Joe, it's mine
No?
on the floor.
Oh, on the floor.
Yeah. Can I have it? Thank you.
Doesn't eject.
So exactly what does the spleen do? Why would a certain organ react and not another?
It probably isn't your spleen, it's probably your pancreas.
Oh.
And the pancreas is here, and it's probably traveling a little bit with the nerves.
So is that like a poison trying to get out? Is there a particular organ? Why do you get a pain in a certain area? Everybody gets something different. Is it just trying to detox something that's triggering that's similar? Or
Well, the whole certain sound vibrations can cause people to detox certain things.
So it's just wherever it happens to be loaded up
And
in
you
your
happen
body?
to be sensitive to the frequency of water. That's all I can,
Interesting. Or it
think of.
gases off in the water. Doesn't
Pardon?
the water also gas off the chemicals?
Oh, absolutely.
You're breathing it in?
Yeah, unless you have the milk in there to draw it down. I mean, you can put clay in the water, too, to have extra insurance.
Oh, yeah.
I used to do that, too. Now they have well water in Malibu Mountains Canyon. It's really nice water.
Oh, wow.
No contamination. Do you have a question, Anna? Okay, do you have a question?
I think you had a radio interview, and as part of the interview, you talked...
You can hear you.
About the radio interview on swine flu?
Yes.
Okay.
And as part of that interview, I think you had... one of the topics was AIDS, and you, I think, said the development of AIDS took place at UCLA. And given the amount of... I got from the article that you were saying that the only way that you could get AIDS was by injection, or basically vaccination.
Correct.
But given the
Or
amount...
blood.
Or blood.
Transfusion.
Or a transfusion.
Contaminated blood.
So you don't really... It's not really a sexually transmitted disease?
Impossible. In my laboratory experiments, I've only found, let's say, 2 bodies of congested so-called virus of AIDS. The virus is not contagious in the first place. You have to have a chemical injected into you. Just like swine flu. There's no way for you to get swine flu. Impossible. Swine flu, it means that you have pig tissue inside of your body, that your body is using a solvent, not a bacteria, not a parasite, not a fungus, to break that tissue down. Now, even if you had pig tissue in you from inhaling pig tissue, let's say you worked on a pig farm, and it was a toxic pig farm where the pigs had a lot of dandruff, and you inhaled it regularly, you would end up with a flu to break down the swine tissue. still is not the same as the swine flu. The swine who makes a tissue, a solvent to dissolve its own tissue, is different from ours. So it's still not the same flu that a pig would get to clean its own tissue. So you cannot get AIDS unless it's injected. And if you read Horowitz's stuff, you see they put it in the hepatitis B vaccine to give it to people in the States. They put it in the smallpox vaccine in Africa. 125 million donated by the U.S. government and the British government. Why? They took over 27 countries in Africa. How did they do that? They went in and said, "Oh, you've got a disease. We gave you these free." Now, our government's not going to give free away anything unless there's something attached to it. So the British and the American government gave 125 million shots of vaccine to Africa for free and paid for them to be injected into the Africans. Paid for all the doctors and nurses to do that. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. It was estimated about $2 billion to do that. What did they get? They went into the country and said, "Oh, you've got an AIDS problem. We have drugs." And they pulled AZT out of the vaults. AZT is the chemo they gave me. AZT was found a year after it was given to me to be so toxic for humans they would no longer give it to humans. So they put it in the vaults. When AIDS came out, they said, "Oh, AZT is good for AIDS." No test, no nothing. They just wanted to pull it out of the vault and kill everybody who had AIDS. So they took the AZT also over to Africa, and they killed everybody that they could. And so what happened was they went to the government and said, "Oh, we'll give you this medical help, we'll give you this chemotherapy, we'll treat your people," killed them, put them in debt that they could never repay. So now the World Bank runs for the British and American governments runs those 27 countries. And if you read a book called Confessions of a Financial Hitman, then you'll understand that's what they do. The governments do. It's a way of waging war and take over resources without having to really send people in to fight. You poison them to death.
The name of that book again is Confessions of what?
Confessions of a Financial Hitman.
Can you just say one more time exactly what is it they put in the vaccine with AIDS? It's not a...
Well, what they did was, according to Strecker, who found it, he found it was created at UCLA in 1961 and 62. They claimed that they had produced it from the lymphonomic virus of the sheep and the waste products, and the leukemic virus of a bovine, a cow. So they took those two toxic substances, put them together, and then put it in the hepatitis and the smallpox vaccine.
So the virus isn't a bacteria or anything, so it can be...
No, it's not alive. It's a chemical.
The chemical in your body.
And they put the chemicals that they put in there allowed the chemicals to infiltrate the RNA and DNA chains and damage them.
Oh.
That's a biochemical electromagnetic science that the military is very keen on.
So that's what AIDS is, with destruction of RNA, DNA strands?
Chains, yes. Breaks down the system.
David Icke talked to a shaman in Africa, and he said that their people would make these marks on their arm as if they had vaccination, so they would avoid it, because he could see, shamanically, he could see that it was the vaccination were not poisoning, but they actually even accessed some kind of their soul DNA in a way that actually altered their capacity for consciousness. So he was not going to let his people be...
Well, in Vietnam, when they started vaccinating the children, the adults, the ones who were like shamans, and there were a lot of shamans in South Vietnam and North Vietnam, and the elders would come out and cut their arms off up the shoulder because they knew the poison was going to go back in and do damage in the body. They preferred to cut the arm off. They could see what was going to happen. Either better to cut the arm off than to let that poison circulate through the system. And then, the American medical profession uses barbarians, instead of the medical profession being the barbarians for injecting these poisons, the people became, the grandparents became the savages for cutting off the arm. But they could see what, of course, the Americans are not able to see at all. Okay, do you have a question?
Yeah, I've been on a diet about 14 months now. I've just been feeling really bad the last 4 months. I've had a bronchial infection that won't go away, and I'm so stiff and sore that it takes me about 10 minutes to get out of bed in the morning because I can't straighten my legs.
Are you waking during the night and eating, or are you spending your whole 8 hours of sleep?
I usually sleep.
You've got to wake up and eat.
Really?
You lose, at your size, you're probably losing 4 to 6 tablespoons of red blood cells. As soon as 5 hours passes, your blood has not enough protein to feed the red blood cells. So the red blood cells start eating other red blood cells for the protein. They become cannibalistic. Fasting is a terrible thing because you're eating up your red blood cells. So what happens is you wake up with anemia. Everybody's waking with anemia, so they go for a drug, caffeine, nicotine, something like that, to pump them up, give them energy. 100 years ago, you had to be rich to afford coffee and nicotine unless you were growing it.
But
Now, people live on it. Pardon?
But they didn't wake up every couple of hours to eat either, right?
Well, they weren't as toxic as we are. But they did. They woke up during the night. Absolutely, almost everybody that I knew and had interviewed always woke during the night sometimes and would have something to nibble on. Because they wake up because they were hungry.
Right.
That's not protein.
That's what you told me to do, eat raw eggs, so I get up and...
Raw eggs. I thought you said rice.
No, when I get up and pee at night, I always pop an egg.
Pop an egg. There you go.
I do that.
Perfect.
Have it next to your bed?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes.
But I'm really stiff all day too. It's like anytime I sit.
Just remember, if you get anemic in the night, you're going to have a hard time getting going in the morning because your body's trying to deal with the anemia. All of its nutrients are going to be going to the bone marrow in your joints. And if you've got toxic bone marrow and toxic joints, because let's say you have Crohn's or some leaky gut problem, you're going to have the exact symptoms you have. So it sounds like you not only have Crohn's, you cause anemia every day. So you need to suck eggs all day long, probably have 20 or 22 a day, and wait during the night, to have your protein during the night. Now, if you're a person who wakes after 5 hours and eats and can't go back to sleep because you have too much energy, then you set your alarm for 3 hours, and then you sleep 5 hours.
And it's okay to let the bronchial thing it'll just...
You should, but let me tell you, if you're causing anemia every day, that's going to go on for ages, 6-7 years. So you need to take care of your basic things. Don't get anemic. Take care of that. These detoxes usually don't last over a year and a half. Normally, they last about anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks. And then they pass on unless you've got a real serious bronchial problem. Toxicity. But I've seen them last up to a year and a half. That's the worst case scenario.
I've had lung infections for many, many years before the diet.
And you took antibiotics for it?
No.
Oh, good.
But I did take colloidal silver.
You took what?
Colloidal silver.
Poison yourself with minerals.
Yeah, I used to breathe it,
Pardon?
She used to breathe it.
You used to what?
She used to breathe
Breathe
it.
it? Breathe it in one of those
Oh, my God.
atomizer?
Nebulizer?
Yeah.
So what's the hoax with the colloidal silver, the stuff then?
Colloidal silver minerals. Plants eat minerals. We don't.
I
If
know,
we eat
but I'm saying the
metallic
people that
minerals,
sell it now.
if we eat metallic minerals, what's going to happen? They become free radicals in the body. They do a lot of damage. Of course, you'll feel better because you're poisoning the blood so badly, it's not going to detox anything old. It's just going to handle that toxicity in blood. That's how medication works. You poison the blood and the intestinal tract, so all the body does is concentrate on those two systems, the blood and the intestinal tract. All of your symptoms go away. All your other symptoms go away, so you think you're well, and you're not.
So it's just pushed deeper.
Push deeper, and you're causing more toxicity. Because now you're not going to be able to digest properly because you've destroyed the bacteria in your intestines. 90% of all functions of the body happen with bacteria. 90% of all functions in the body are by bacteria. You destroy them, when you take an antibiotic, you're destroying myriads of bacteria all over the body, in the blood, in the lymph, in the intestinal tract, in the heart, brain, everywhere. Mass contamination. So what happens, you don't assimilate your nutrients, you don't heal properly, you scar, and you get many more poisons deep into the tissue. Do you have a question?
Yes. This is for a lady, my friend. She has osteoporosis. She's 42. She's getting pre-osteoporosis problem. And I tried to read in the book something about that, and you just say that pasteurized milk causes that.
Well, they many times cause osteoporosis,
Yes.
but that's one of them.
What can she do to reverse the symptoms?
Well, like I said in the book, she can drink raw milk, she can eat lots of cheese, cheese a couple of times a day with honey as a mineral supplement. Because when you eat cheese, raw cheese, no salt raw cheese, with honey, you will actually digest the cheese. Now, any food that's dehydrated has no bioactive enzymes, difficult to digest. Dog and a cat can't even digest much of raw cheese that's unsalted. Check the feces. Passes out whole almost. In a dog and a cat, even with a high amount of hydrochloric acid, they may digest at the most 50%. In a human, at the most 20%. If you eat honey with it, you're providing enzymes to digest the minerals in the cheese and some of the fat and protein. So, cheese all day long a little bit to absorb heavy metals and poisons, because when your body eats its own bone, it's doing it because it's low in calcium, phosphorus, potassium, and magnesium, the alkalinizing minerals, to alkalinize the acidic poisons in the body. And you produce a lot of acidic poisons just by cooking food. Then if you add all the food additives along with it, MSG and everything, you've got quite an array of toxins where your body has to use a vast amount of calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, so it eats your own bones to do it.
Okay, with that, if she's in an environment that there is no raw milk at all, so there's
Then she needs to move, or get some cows or goats.
Is that right?
Or order.
Is there any other option?
You can order it from the Amish.
Where does she live?
Where does she live? In Timbuktu?
São Paulo, Brazil?
Sao Paulo? I got milk in Sao Paulo. All you have to do is go out, there are mountains around there, and there are people with goats all over the place. You can get goat's milk. She's just going to have somebody go get it for her if she doesn't have the strength to go get it.
So the goat milk is okay? I mean, if you didn't have the
If you don't have
milk?
anything else, absolutely.
And do they make goat cheese without salt, too?
Yeah.
There's some on the table.
Is that over there?
I ate it a couple of days ago.
Now, if you're overweight, I prefer goat's milk. If you have a sugar problem or diabetes, I prefer goat's milk.
Goat's milk.
But if you're not any of those four things, then cow's milk is better.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a calm goat? It doesn't happen. So their milk has adrenaline precursors in it. So you can't get fat on goat's milk. And I like people to get fat to have the buffering to protect them from the poisons in the body. Do you have a question, Lorraine?
Yes. I told you I'm going to go over to Italy soon. I've seen a lot of squid and octopus there. Is it okay to eat that stuff?
Well, they're farmed.
They're farmed. So stay with, if there's clams, oysters, you said they're not,
farmed oysters and clams, all they can do is put a fence out in the ocean, and the government tells them that they have to call it farmed. But they're still eating what's out in the ocean. You know, sometimes what they'll do is you've got a baby clam attached to a mother clam, and they won't grow to their full size unless they're broken off and transplanted. So that's what they do in these farms. It's still getting fed just by the ocean.
So cod and like red snapper, are those okay?
Halibut.
Cod, I mean those particular
Those are ocean.
They are?
Yes.
Cod and red snapper? Okay. And just for the nausea?
Tuna, swordfish. I mostly eat swordfish. When I'm in the Philippines, I mostly eat tuna.
You can't get salmon anymore. I mean...
No, I don't like salmon too much because it's too much from lakes, and they've set a lot of genetically modified salmon loose. And now
really?
they're crossbreed
oh
breeding.
My God. So we're eating GMO'd salmon now.
Yeah, GMO salmon, so I don't touch salmon anymore.
How about salmon from Tasmania?
Tasmania would be okay.
Because Newport Beach,
Yeah.
they fly it in every day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What?
And that's what
Tasmania is an island off of Australia.
But if it says wild, isn't that okay if it says wild?
No, because now they've let the salmon, the genetically modified salmon, breed with the wild salmon.
But you're only talking about salmon.
Yeah, only salmon.
About
Halibut,
anything that's
snapper?
from the ocean that isn't salmon.
Wild.
Yeah.
What about Alaska? Salmon from Alaska?
Doesn't make any difference. That's where they mainly let them loose.
So to get beef over there, I told you they had wild boar. I don't know if it'll be in that area, but any kind of beef over in Europe is okay? I mean, I don't know.
I ate Carrefour
it's organic
supermarkets when I was in Paris for 3.5 years. And that was that mad cow
Yes.
meat. I don't have a problem. And I started eating that in 1993 to 1996. And, they said it's a 10 to a 15-year incubation period.
Yeah. And Steve said for the nausea...
You have to eat the brain and nervous system to have that kind of toxicity from mad cow.
Okay.
So you eat the muscle meat,
Stay
you'll
away
be
from the
pretty
gland.
sure of being okay.
Okay. Steve mentioned the nausea. Do you take the cheese, like just a cube, like every 15 minutes or something?
Every 20 minutes.
Every 20 minutes until it stops?
Right.
Okay.
I mean, it's so bad where you're constantly feeling like
Yeah.
you're going to vomit. You could have it every 10
Yeah,
minutes.
I ate that stuff and I was like starting to... Thank you.
I got it.
my question.
Go into on your file cabinet to the
Milk?
left of the desk and get my milk, please. Thank you. Oh, wait a minute. You have some milk over there, right?
I do.
Never mind. Yeah, that's okay. I'll have some goat for a change.
You have a cheese too? The cheese?
He said it was
Cheese is right there. And Mike is a local goat guy. He's got lots of commercial products. Incredible products. Never taken by Mike. Cards?
Just cutting this cup.
No, I got something I can pass off the car. I just have
Oh, okay, please. Yeah, me too.
East of Escondido. My products I deliver.
It's good that you're asking all those questions.
Yeah, that way I won't drink it all.
Yeah, right. It's good that you're asking all those questions.
Otherwise, I'm probably...
Oh, wow, I got already.
So, you know how most people would be running to the doctors and get amputations and all kinds of stuff? I've been working like a dog. Every week I travel to a different city. I do a lecture all on Saturday, 10 to 12 hour day, and then I do patients anywhere from 2 to 5 days. I was in Chicago. I had patients from 8 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock in the evening, all day long, even with all this. I'm 62 years old, folks.
Yay.
You know that it's got to be healthy to be able to go through this and survive.
Tell us what islands you went to again in the Philippines.
I went to quite a few.
Did you go to Palau?
Pardon?
Did you go to Palau?
Palawan?
Palau.
Palau? No, I didn't.
Oh,
There are 7,107 islands in the Philippines.
all right, which one did you go to?
Why did you go back a second time?
Pardon?
Because you went back there and you were fine, and then you go back a second time and that happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking for land for the clinic. They've offered me 220 acres for $160,000. Mountain.
Oh my God.
Yeah, very nice.
Is that
It's through tribe, it's through a tribe.
It's in an island?
I helped them. They had malaria. Two of the children, infants of one of the chiefs, had malaria. And there were 3 translators because we go from Tagalog, which is the main language of Philippines, then you have specialized dialects within the tribe. So we had to go through translators, and as a translator for English from Tagalog to English from the chief, he said, I really can't be with you all today because I have to get my 2 youngest daughters. One was a year and one was 3. He had 5 daughters. I have to get them to the hospital because they have malaria. 2 of them, the 2 youngest, have malaria. And so she translated that to me because she knows I'm a doctor of nutrition. And I said, well, 85% of the people who go to the hospital for treatment for malaria die. Only 40% die who don't go to the hospital. So your daughter's chances of surviving out of the hospital are better. But all you have to do is take your lime juice, take 2 ounces of that with 2 ounces of good honey, not that garbage stuff they make. Mix that together with 6 ounces of butong water, which is coconut water. So they mixed that, and I got, after 3 weeks after I'd left there, I said give that to them, 1 to 2 tablespoons every hour, on the hour for 3 days, and then 1 to 2 tablespoons every 2 to 3 hours for 3 to 5 more days after that. So I got an email 10 days after being there, the girls are fine.
Wow. Oh.
What were their symptoms? What is their symptoms?
They had very high fevers, colds and sweats. They could be burning up and be as cold can be.
And they were babies, 1 year
These
old?
one was 1 and one was 3.
Oh, you must be ecstatic.
Well, they were, so they really want me to buy the land and be there and build my clinic. So I can help them.
Does it have a
But I
well?
told them that you can only get malaria if you're a carb eater. Carbohydrate eater. So I told them you need to stop eating all that, rice, and corn, and eat, like your other tribes that eat just fish and coconut.
Doesn't he eat a lot of taro and all that kind of stuff, those roots?
No, that's from Hawaii.
All the Fijians and Samoans.
Fujians? Yeah, that's right. When I was in Tahiti, they were that way too. But I didn't see any of that, any roots. Also in Thailand, they're big on roots.
And there's banana that's like a potato. The whole meal is all the same. Little fish.
What's the name of this island now?
Palawan.
So, there's 2 questions.
So,
Pardon?
The question is here. My question is with him.
Oh, you want him to have your question? Okay.
Thank you. My main problem right now is I have this gut. I don't drink beer. I want to get it flat.
No, you don't.
You don't?
If you're asking me, I say no. You don't want to get rid of it. I kept mine for 23 years.
Flat now?
Now, yes. But for 23 years, I kept it. It's like a baby. A baby's not going to grow and get healthy fast unless it has that gut. You notice that all babies who have no gut, their bones grow thin and feeble. So you want a baby to be fat. You have to be fat because you're on a new diet. You're growing yourself anew. You have to consider yourself a baby. So you need all those extra nutrients to be able to distribute them. If you run into a detox, what's going to happen? You don't have the excess nutrients. You're going to fall and crash hard.
This is the only place with fat is right here.
That's good. But it goes from there to the rest of your body if you just keep eating. And I say that in my books. Fats, if you haven't finished reading the book. No, major part of the book. Fat, get fat.
Thank you very much, Aajonus. You've been
But, you know, I'm still fat. I'm 18 point, last night I was 18.7% body fat. Athletes who are my size are like 9 to 12% body fat. But when the fat molecules are very tiny, like when they're raw, they don't take up much space. But when you cook a fat, it swells anywhere from 5 to 50 times its normal size. So you have all this bloating from all this old fat. I've been on this diet eating all raw foods and no cooked fats since 1972, February of 72. So I don't have any of those toxic fats in my body anymore. All of the molecules of fat are small, so I can stay trim and still be fat. But I wish I had had more fat on me when this happened, because I would have gotten to this quicker and easier, because my body got poisoned.
Did you lose muscle mass too? You look like you
I
lost
lost
muscle mass.
everywhere. I lost muscle and fat. So I'm down to, you know, like a 29-inch waist, which I haven't had
It
since
doesn't
I was
matter how much you
16.
eat.
How do you measure that body fat?
I have a scale, special scale for that. It's within, if you go into a water tank and they have electrodes to you, that is your absolute
Perfect way.
you know, measurement. But when I took my scale there to UCLA's water tank to check, it was only 1.5 points off at sometimes. Some people it was right on.
Where do you get that scale?
Pardon?
Where do you get that scale?
You can go
Get 'em at
online,
any place,
find
okay.
one.
Fries.
Drugstores have.
What's the name of
Even
the
drugstores have
I don't
fries.
remember.
Bed Bath and Beyond has
Very
it.
common.
Yeah.
Body fat scale.
How do you, are you stuffing yourself? I mean, are you eating like crazy to add the nutrients to there? I mean, are you
Well,
eating a lot?
I'm eating double
More
the
than-
butter that I usually eat, but you have to understand this is taking a lot of nutrients.
I see
I
that.
mean, that's a lot of nutrients. I'm losing blood and serum constantly. The swelling in here, the whole taking care of this calf that was full of that toxic insulin, my ankles, everywhere. And now this one's doing it too in here. I mean, I eat tremendous amounts. I eat almost double what I usually eat. Double the meat, double the fat, everything. If I didn't, I would be ultra skinny.
You look thin already.
No, I am thin. For me, yes.
Do you soak that at all? Do you soak your leg at all?
Yeah, I do in vinegar, and when I get into a bath, I'll put like a pint of vinegar in the water, tiny bit of sea salt, and I'll let all of these come off.
Does that hurt?
No, it doesn't hurt until I get out, and it starts drying off, and then I put the urine on it. Coconut cream will irritate it, cause more inflammation. That's usually what I use. Do you have a question?
In making high meat, you say that every few days to go outside and wave it in the fresh air. And after you do this for like a week and a half or two...
Oh, you can do it in your house if you don't mind your house.
That's not that stinky. But anyway, you get all this bacteria and it looks like fungus and stuff growing on top.
Well, fungus is a fungus. Fungus is a bacteria. They're two different things.
Okay, it's bacteria.
Okay.
Is it just
Well, if you have a mold growing on it with a fuzz, that's a fungus.
Well, how do I know
It's
it's
a mold. And that's fine.
So how do you know what's growing on it?
Pardon?
How do you know what's growing there?
It doesn't matter.
It's either
Whatever's
fungus-
growing on it's breaking it down and pre-digesting it for you.
Okay. So my question is, when you do this, you see all of this growth on top. The rest of the jar looks pretty much the same, red and looks fresh. Is it a good idea to maybe stir it up? Is it a good idea to stir it up?
You can, absolutely. I tell people to cut their meat up into chunks.
I do.
Pieces, okay.
But it seems like all the mold is on top, and the rest of it looks like it's unaffected. So it seems to me it would be good to stir it up.
Yeah, stir it if you like. If you want molds to be breaking it down, if you want bacteria, don't stir it. Just air it.
Which is the best way to do it, to stir it?
You may need the fungus to break it down for you. It doesn't matter what breaks it down.
Can you eat that daily without any problem?
I have a person that only eats high meat. He eats 2 pounds a day. He won't eat any fresh meat. Changed his life. He has a terrible digestive problem, so he has no problems.
What do you have, Crohn's or something?
Pardon?
What do you have, Crohn's or something?
He had Crohn's and a lot of other problems. He had multiple problems. Good question.
There are a lot of people who say that we're really not meant to eat dairy.
And the reasoning is?
And the reasoning is that, if you were in the wild, you wouldn't really have a tame cow to milk.
Oh yeah? There are many nomads that would capture a lactating animal and milk them. That's how they started doing it in the first place, especially the Norwegians. They didn't want to live like the Eskimos and have to eat icicles all the time. Their meat is icicles. Because, when you're fishing, in a portal you've got ice a foot and a half thick. By the time your fish comes out of there, it's at your mouth, it's a popsicle already. It's that frozen. So the Norwegians started importing cows and buffalo, the buffaloes that had larger udders, into the Norwegian regions and started, the hardier ones, and started milking them.
And the Mongolians?
Mongolians did. A lot of Indians in India. Heavy dairy country.
Right.
They're vegetarians, but they're dairy eaters. We have all the bacteria. Our mouth is predominantly bacteria. We have more bacteria than any other animal on the planet, including dogs and cats. Dogs and cats have 16 to 118 bacteria parts per million of saliva. We have 2,300 to 2,600 bacteria per million parts of saliva.
I never want to kiss anybody anymore.
Yes, you're just giving them some good bacteria. So we infiltrate our food with bacteria first. The hydrochloric acid just breaks apart larger food particles so the bacteria can get in and eat and digest them.
So I guess that one of the arguments that I've heard is, no other species drinks milk of some other species. So I'm just trying to figure out...
Have you ever offered any other animal milk? I've given it to horses. I've milked a cow and given it its own milk. And they'll drink a gallon and a half in one sitting. Every animal that I've ever offered, vegetarian, herbivore or whatever, has all consumed milk. It's just that how many females are going to let them milk them.
You've seen those pictures on the internet where they have the tiger nursing the monkey babies.
Right.
And,
That's an animal baby, but adult, that's what I was wondering about. So that's interesting.
So all animals, every animal, even squirrels, will drink milk and eat cheese. I feed mine all the time. Run around outside.
Is that the best source of vitamin D then?
No, your sunshine is. Butter, eating butter and getting the butter into your skin, and sunshine is the best vitamin D source. Do you have a question? No. Do you have a question?
Sorry, can I take
Sorry?
it then?
Yes, you may. If he gives it to you, do you give it to him?
If our soil is so depleted that there is not that many minerals in it, what's the best way to get minerals in our diet?
Vegetarians have come up with this concept because they can't be healthy as vegetarians, so they're making excuses. There is no soil that's depleted unless peanuts or legumes are grown in the soil, like soy. Those grounds are completely depleted, but not of minerals, but of proteins and microbes. Okay? Never get depleted of minerals. It's impossible.
Well, isn't that what the whole idea of that when the Nile would flood and everything, and it would have such plentiful crops as a result of all the minerals that came from the
Well,
river?
the algae breaks down rock, provides all those minerals. So when the algae would flow over there, would have all these digested minerals, and they would break down into the soil.
Right,
Soil.
that makes sense, but we don't have that in the places where the farmers just farming land.
It's about getting microorganisms in the ground to break down the minerals to release them. It's not about putting minerals into the ground, it's already there. You have poisons in the ground that are preventing the fractionation of those to be absorbed by the plants. That's the issue.
Right, so if the issue's there, then how do you get the
Microorganisms.
in our body?
Oh, in your well.
Well, I mean,
If you're drinking vegetable juice, you're already doing it.
you're already doing what?
Providing many minerals and enzymes that you wouldn't normally get, vitamins.
Because you think that
We're not herbivores. Yeah, we take vegetables and we juice them, so we have this concentrated mineral solution with lots of vitamins and enzymes. Those are your supplements. I mean, taking a cup of vegetable juice a day, even if the soil is so-called depleted, is 10 times the amount that you would ever get in good soil. That's why vegetable juice is part of the diet.
How much greater is that intensity in juicing it versus eating a lot of salads? Like those raw food people who eat tons
You
of
can't
salads.
digest
You
it.
can't digest
We have the herbivore has 2.5 times more digestive tract than we do. They have 60,000 more digestive enzymes for breaking down the cellulose molecule to get the fat and protein. It takes 48 hours or more for food to pass through their systems, with 60 to 80% of it digested, not even all of it digested. 2% in hours. That's it. 2%, 24 hours. It over-alkalinizes the intestines and neutralizes all of that hydrochloric acid that you have in the stomach and the small intestines to break down your food particles. So smaller amounts of bacteria can eat them. Our bacteria is of acidic nature. The fluids, the alkaline fluids from whole vegetables will neutralize those. So you stop digesting.
why even have the vegetable juices if we're really not meant to eat vegetables? Is that what you're saying then?
I'm saying don't eat whole vegetables.
Yeah.
I'm saying drink the vegetable juice because you can get all the minerals, vitamins, and the enzymes from the vegetation. That we can handle.
But
That's the 2% we can handle.
in nature, you wouldn't have a juicer, so what?
Well, do like the dogs, cats, and the gorillas. They chew the fiber, they chew it and spit out the fiber.
Is
They're
that,
juicing in their mouths.
is that what you did in Thailand, or do you get juice in Thailand?
I can get juice in Thailand.
Oh, okay. And for the salad, you always, I think you said don't have it with oil or vinegar, or
Right.
either one,
Because it coats it. And I said, if you're going to eat
Either one?
vegetation, you eat a salad and you eat the last thing in the day.
Right, but you don't put any olive oil on it?
You can make a cheese sauce, something like that.
Right, but why don't you want oil on it or
It
vinegar?
coats
Oh,
the
and the vinegar
vegetation.
too? What if you just have vinegar on it? Is that okay? No.
It's okay. You'll start fermenting it. It'll be just a little bit better with vinegar.
It won't feel good on your stomach if you put olive oil on it.
Not usually.
It doesn't. You have to try it.
Well, it depends upon the person. Some people can handle it. Italians and Greeks are used to it. But that's centuries of use.
So plant is just not the same as juice.
You can't digest that cellulose.
But you say if you eat cooked food, you have to have the raw stuff. If you eat
Well,
cooked
if
food.
you want, let's say you eat cooked meat, you better have a raw salad with it, or else it's not going to move. It'll putrefy. Okay, do you have questions?
Oh, myself. I've been having trouble running these days. I can't even get my body to move. And I find this Chinese diet have like not really anything into it. I'm just kind of dabbling. So I have trouble like even sitting like.
Okay, I can see your skin right in now. You don't have any good animal fats in your body. You have a lot of grain fats, acetates that are made from
I've
grains.
been doing
and other
20
things.
years of vegetarian diet.
There you go.
Right now, I just have to say, how much can I jump into this without my
People jump into it wholeheartedly. Just remember this, 50% of my cancer clients are long-term vegetarians. And vegetable oils cause all the hardening of the arteries in the heart. Because they crystallize. We can't digest them.
So it's not like fusing arthritis and stuff, and that's all from arthritis like that.
Well, you don't have any lubrication in your body. Good fats. You don't have any good animal fats in your body. You just have butter, cream.
Is the honey really essential? Because it feels like I don't like the taste of that.
No, this is essential. Sure can help you digest, but it isn't essential. For some people it is. So I suggest you go into the recipe book and on page 146 and make the moisturizing formula. Yep, make a good moisturizing formula and sip that throughout the day. Of the recipe book.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have a question?
Yes, I recently found a source for getting bison directly from Montana, but it comes here frozen. Is there a problem with
Definitely. When I did experiments with animals and fed them frozen meats, they all got skin disorders within 6 weeks. Animals that I fed the same, I had 2 groups. The animals that I fed the same meat that wasn't frozen had no disorders. I didn't feed them water, anything. They only ate the meat for that 6-week to 10-week period. Then all of the animals who got the skin disorder, one even got scabies. I took those animals and gave them, split them in half and fed them half raw butter and half frozen butter. The same butter, some of it frozen, some of it unfrozen. The animals that I gave the frozen butter to took 5 times longer to heal their skin disorder. So freezing does affect it. I don't care what Sally Fallon or anybody else says. They have never done the experiments I have.
So don't freeze anything.
Well, you can freeze fruits. Nothing harms fruits.
Cheese?
Cheese, you don't want to freeze cheese.
Fish?
Fish, well, if you get Arctic fish, that's okay.
Everything comes down frozen from the boats.
As long as it's an Arctic fish. Do you have a question?
I do.
Yeah.
I just have a note to that. Because you said the dog had psoriasis. I've been feeding it just the stuff from the supermarket, like natural Tyson or whatever. I mean, I wasn't...
Could be frozen, it could be...
They freeze it. It looks like it's fresh, but it's probably frozen now that you said that.
Yeah.
Is that why he's
Probably.
got this skin problem?
Psoriasis, yep.
And should you take the skin off, right? They shouldn't have the skin?
Right. Yeah. You can't give them frozen meats.
No kidding.
So is there any meat fish coming in to the market that's not frozen? Like Henry Steele say previously frozen, something else say fresh.
Well, there are others that say, that don't say that.
Yeah,
they
that's
say fresh.
what I'm saying.
There's something that's
Huh?
You get fresh. You can get fresh from this co-op that we have here. You get fresh.
Which co-op?
The co-op that we have here.
Every other week. They don't do no meat.
You go to markets around here and just look for non-frozen.
I mean, at Henry's, they have like sections that previously frozen, emergency fresh. So
Get the fresh ones, as long as it's ocean.
Yeah.
Ocean fish, not lake fish. You have a question?
Yeah, I've got a lot of joint problems, including some deterioration of the cartilage and that type of thing. What can I do? What's the best thing for it?
It all depends why you have it. 80 to 90% of all deterioration of the joints comes from leaky gut, Crohn's disease. The intestinal production of mucus is very shallow, and the mucus fibers are very open, so your own digestive acids and juices get into there, and bacteria, and start eating your own intestinal walls. They get so thin that if you eat a lot at one time, drink a lot, it rips the gut, and then you have leaky gut. You have undigested food that will go to the joints for digestion. It's 80 to 90% of all arthritis and rheumatism comes from that. So I would say look to there first.
Then what's the best thing if that was the case?
That's a whole diet in itself for Crohn's. It's mostly eggs. You'd eat anywhere from 24 to 32 eggs a day. Did you eat something else with the eggs? No.
Good egg.
Eggs digest in 27 minutes. It only takes 3 to 5 inches of the intestines to absorb, to completely digest and absorb eggs. So you get all this fat and protein with very little energy expense in digestion. So you get to reserve all of your intestinal tracts, at least clicked off, all of your intestinal tract, you reserve the energy while absorbing and digesting all of this, assimilating all this egg.
What about butter? Would you eat butter with the eggs?
No.
Tiny bit?
No, because then you're causing a problem in digestion. I'm not saying don't eat any other thing, but I'd have to see, his eyes to be able to determine what else to suggest. But right off, I would say eggs, say sipping on milk, never gulping. You gulp anything, the H2O rushes to the kidneys, you piss it out. So then your nutrients cannot carry H2O to the cells. So you sip. You see me when I sip? I don't sip, I suck. You see when I do it, I suck. Keep my teeth together, put my tongue there, and I force whatever I'm drinking through. Why? Like a baby sucking, gets all that bacteria into the milk. So I digest very easily. So I never get dehydrated, and I drink maybe 2 quarts of fluid a day, but that's in the form of milk and the fruit and the meat. Meat's 55% water. Milk is 86 to 82% water. So you have all of this fluid in your food as long as it's raw. And it's all ionically attached. So you can utilize 100% of the water in your raw foods. Once you cook it, you fractionate all of that. You drink water, same thing as eating salt. It fractionates those smorgasbord of nutrients. Dilutes your digestive acids. All kinds of problems.
You said fruit. What kind of fruit do you eat?
Well, you saw me eat the watermelon rind.
That's right.
Yeah.
But you don't eat it with cream. You just eat it.
I had some cream with berries first.
Oh, okay. So because I get heartburn from everything.
I always eat fat with my food. Always. Always, always.
Oh, okay.
Always eat fat. And I say that in both books.
Okay.
Always eat fat with your fruit.
So could it be cheese or butter, or does it have to be milk?
Doesn't matter what you want it to be. It can be any of the fats.
Okay.
Avocado, cheese, butter, cream. Just remember, if you eat cream, it's harder to digest and you'll have a tendency to retain more water. But you still need at least 2 tablespoons of cream a day in addition to whatever's in your milk, unless you've added it to your milk already. Okay, do you have a question?
Yeah. Family member has been on the diet for a while and they have a severe allergy to dust mites. What do you recommend?
That's a low mucus. Like I said, when you have mucus, if you look at mucus under a microscope, it's like a bunch of material put together in layers of material. If the fibers are tight, nothing's going to get through. And it can be as much as 20 layers thick when you're dumping mucus, or it can be as small as 3 layers thick. If the fibers are open and you don't have enough protein fibers, all of those dust and the mites will just get right through that mesh, and right in irritate the mucous membranes. And that's an issue. It's a problem. So they need to build mucus. Milkshakes are your best. Milk and eggs together with a little honey, extra cream, helps build mucus faster. Okay? What's your question?
I do, yeah. I've been on the diet for about a year, and I had eczema since I was about 8, and it became progressively worse. And I started...
Where?
On my scalp.
Oh, I see.
I haven't passed my back, but mostly my scalp. And...
then it's not a normal eczema.
Well, I've been doing loop drinks for about, double loop drinks for about 3 months, and tomato drinks every day, and it hasn't slowed down at all.
No, yours is not from the normal dryness. Yours is from mercury in your brain and skull, aluminum. And that's until your body stops throwing it off or can handle it correctly out of the skin without breaking out. See, normally the body will build those toxins into the hair follicles and build it into hair. Yours is just coming out the skin. So you have good hair, but you don't have good skin.
Yeah.
So most people will lose their hair because it builds into the follicles, damages the follicle. Yours is coming right out of your scalp, right out of your skin. It's not building in. And that's for every vaccine that you've ever had, that much that went to your brain.
He hasn't
Who
had
knows how
that
long
many.
that's going to be. What you can do is put some bone marrow, oily bone marrow at room temperature, rub that into your scalp and see if that will strengthen the RNA and DNA so you can lose hair instead of losing your scalp.
Oh boy.
It's your choice. I'd rather lose hair.
Will the hair grow back after the treatment?
Not very rare, not very often.
Great.
Wow.
Well, you see what chemotherapy did, this hasn't grown back since I was 22 years old.
Is there any way to get the mercury out without it all coming out his head like that?
No, yours is mostly aluminum that turns it gray. Destroys the paraminobenzoic acid properties of the follicles.
So he hasn't had that many vaccines, but I had a lot of mercury from teeth and pesticides, all kinds of. So do you think from breastfeeding him when he was a baby, that's why he's so full of it?
Transfer to him during gestation and breastfeeding.
Okay. And my mother always cooked in aluminum.
So black?
Cooked in aluminum. Almost all gray hair is a result of high aluminum.
So basically the diet just eventually takes care of this stuff? There's nothing special?
40 years to get all the toxins. I still have 14 years to go. And I'm 62 years old and I'm still alive. I was supposed to die 42 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm healthier than I ever was as a child. This is nothing compared to what I suffered as a child.
Yeah.
So if she stayed on the diet for 40 years, will her hair grow back?
Well, even her hair is coming back.
My hair is getting darker.
I'll be 100 years old.
All
So
gray.
well, it's got some
Her hair was as gray as mine?
And mine, I get gray patches. A year ago, this was dark. This is the only thing that doesn't go back and forth. Used to have a gray patch back here for 6 years. That went away. So it comes and it goes. As I dump a lot of aluminum out of my brain, then my hair goes gray.
This is all from aluminum.
And it stops.
This is all from aluminum. So somebody that's healthy and they have a dark head of hair, which is not dyed, means
they're not discarding aluminum out the hair.
That doesn't mean they don't have it, right?
Doesn't mean they don't have it. It means you're not discarding it.
I have aluminum, but I don't have much gray.
Yeah. You have a little bit.
So why is my hair getting darker?
Because you're not dumping aluminum at this point. Much aluminum.
So I think somebody told me that the gray hair is because of the lack of a nutrient.
That's what I thought.
They used to say it was a lack of paraminobenzoic acid. B vitamin that regulates pigmentation. But aluminum destroys it.
Oh.
You can take it all day long and it's not going to change the color of your hair. Paraminobenzoic acid. You have to get rid of the aluminum first.
I read somewhere that you said that to do like a tablespoon of cilantro juice with a tablespoon of butter or something every 2 hours to get rid of mercury.
It'll help.
Would that help him to do something like that?
Well, it depends on if it's just mercury. I'd have to look in his eyes to see what kind of metals are coming out of his skin.
So he should probably do an iridology.
He could have a fungus involved with it. He could have that tetracycline or something like that because that looks like it's antibiotic irritated along with the metals. So he's got a fungus in his skull too.
And the only time it ever went away was when we used to have a swimming pool and it was chlorine. This was years ago.
Yeah, kill the fungus.
It would go away in the summer when he was in the pool all the time.
Kill the fungus. But you can put vinegar on it. It will help destroy it too. But to keep your head strong, to get it to be able to withstand that kind of toxicity, the bone marrow would be good. So one day you could put vinegar, dilute the vinegar by 50%, rub it into the scalp, and then just let it sit for a day. And then the next day, rinse it out and then put bone marrow in and let that sit for 24 hours. Do it alternate.
The bone marrow, even if it's old?
Even if it's old, it works wonderfully. You go around stinking.
It's not copper deficiency. Gray hair is not copper deficiency.
Zinc can create some hair coloring loss, but it doesn't cause gray hair. Pardon?
Sperm.
Sperm, you can use sperm, but if he's got that much metal toxicity up on his head, he probably has it around the other head too. That sperm may not be so good. If your sperm smells metallic, don't use it. If it smells like an old iron, if you've been ironing for an hour, you smell, and your sperm smells like that, it's full of toxic minerals. You don't want to use it. Good question.
Finally. I break my head.
Thank you. Want to go golfing?
You know, this is a tough guy to live in society with. If you have
I've never heard anybody that tease up a question.
Not the fact that I'm a pharmaceutical engineer, make drugs that kill everybody. But, no, really, okay. So now I'm really interested in, I'm almost retirement age, 66, couple months, and I'm ready to get out of here. Where do I go? You travel all over the world. Where is a good place to go live? That's why I asked about
it. All depends upon your comfort level. I'm comfort in poverty. I'm very comfortable in poverty.
What's poverty?
Poverty means I don't need anything but the food on the land.
Is that in the local land or from
no running water? I've got a river, a waterfall. I'm happy.
So where in the world should we start looking?
Depends on your comfort level. What do you want? What can you live with and live without?
Well, give me some names so we can start investigating. So I don't know until I
Yeah, but do you want to grow your own cows? That's what he's talking about. No, we're not. Come on. That's what he's talking
look
about.
at the group. I don't mind this Pagaya thing where there's a group.
Yep.
How many more communities are like that around the world that you know about?
None.
That's the only one?
There are some people in Asheville, South Carolina, wherever Asheville is.
Yeah, but they don't really have it together so much.
I haven't been there myself. That's the only one I've heard.
Is that right?
It's too freaking cold there. It snows there.
Don't mention snow to Ron.
You want to go there.
Go live with the Amish.
What you do is buy some land. What you can do is do what Venice does in Pangaya. He bought the land, he built the place, and then he invites people to come and they work the land.
Yeah.
They do everything for him, and he gets the food that they grow and they cut and they harvest.
Well, I have been emailing them, and I can certainly use an engineer on their site because they have a lot of projects.
Who would live there, Aajonus?
That's the only place in the Philippines?
No other place.
You haven't found a place in the Philippines and Thailand is out now?
No, I'm still looking there.
Uh-huh.
I may have two. So.
What are you going to do with your clinic?
Pardon?
What you talk about this clinic several times. What are you going to do there?
I will. They mainly have locals. At least 50% of the clientele will be locals that don't pay. That just work as part of the land in exchange for my help. And we will grow all the foods, all herbs, everything that people will use to get well.
Oh, okay.
So let's say people have cancer. They want to go to some place other than Hippocrates, which starves them to death. They'll be able to go to a place where they can get nourished and get stronger and healthier.
Okay. So you will raise the cow out of
everything. I've already made a deal with the government in Palawan Island. They have a dairy experimental farm, and it's going under because Filipinos aren't used to milk. So I'm buying their cows and their milking machine. And, there's the portable ones. Attach on and hook up. It isn't like a big tank or anything. So I'm getting 3 cows that are imported from New Zealand, and I'll start with that.
So you have all...
I'm putting it all together. Hopefully in July or August, one or the other, I'll put it all together and have everything finalized.
Is that the island that you found that had the indigenous people?
No. That was almost 2,000 miles away. The reason I chose Palawan Island, because all the other islands are in the volcano district. You've got the circle, the ring of fire. It goes all the way from Japan all the way down to the last island and the lowest island, South Island of the Philippines. There are 47 volcanoes in the Philippines.
Do you want to get through here?
And they're like this. If you look at the map, you've got Manila with the big island, Luzon here, and then you've got all these other bigger islands spread all the way down till you get to Mindanao, the biggest island. And then over here you've got Palawan Island, which is a very long island. Now all of these islands are in that big crevice that's 20 times the size of the Grand Canyon. And all these volcanoes underneath it. So if that goes off, Japan, all of that's going under. But Palawan is an island that's on the shallowest sea floor of anywhere. Only that island.
So it wouldn't be affected by tidal waves from that?
No, because I'll be 1,900 feet up in the mountains. They're selling me the mountain top. That's why I'm up there.
So you're going to have classes?
Elaine, do you have a question?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, I wanted to talk about penicillin, because when you read my irises in February, you said, I've got a lot of penicillin in my body. What has that got to do with the fact that I can't digest cooked foods? That's why I'm on the diet. I'm on the diet almost 4 years, and I do great as long as I eat everything that tells me to. So, what's the connection between not being able to digest
No, that was
food
your rosacea and your splotchiness on your face. That's from the penicillin fungus, this card. Now what happens is, penicillin is a bird fungus. When birds have eaten grains that they haven't digested properly, and let's say they're breaking cells down, and the body needs help, let's say they've gone through a long drought, then a fungus will appear, penicillin will appear, and help break down those cells that are built off of this carbohydrate, grains. We would never have penicillin in the human body except that we grain foods, breads, cakes, pastas, anything made of grain, and the cells made of those products, fungus can live off of. So when we're injected with, now we wouldn't normally have that variety of penicillin, but the pharmaceutical industry has made a penicillin that when injected in us, lives forever. Because when they sterilize it, they damage the RNA and DNA to tell it to go into hibernation.
That's great.
Tell it when it's on and off switch, they damage it. So it will always be active. That doesn't mean that the penicillin is a bad thing, because it will only eat damaged tissue that was built on grain foods, so with a lot of carbohydrate. So it's a beneficial fungus as long as it doesn't get out of control and makes your life miserable.
So what's that connection with the fact that for several years I wasn't able to digest food and so on your diet? Cooked foods.
Well, that was because you weren't digesting and absorbing anything that was cooked. Plus you have lots of toxicity in your intestines. So it came to the point where you just can't digest unless it's raw food.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that come to that point.
Okay.
Their diseases will not turn around unless they get into raw food.
But I'm not clear. Is there a connection between not digesting cooked foods or salads and penicillin?
If the penicillin is growing unruly in your intestines.
So that's probably what has been the problem.
Part of the problem.
I was also a vegetarian for 30 years. Nice and skinny, but not healthy.
Exactly.
Does it ever, if you're not eating all raw, is it even worth doing it?
If you only ate one raw food in your life, you'd be adding enzymes and vitamins and minerals and nutrients to your body. So you make the choice. How much are you going to damage your body and how much are you going to nurture it? If you treat yourself like you would your own baby, you wouldn't be doing it.
I'm treating myself as I would myself if I wouldn't have a baby.
Yeah. But I mean, most people would treat their babies better than they treat themselves. But you want to treat your body because that is your baby. Till death do you part, literally. Okay, we've gone through everybody, right?
Yeah.
Very good.
So there's no community except Pangaya that knows your lifestyle?
Yeah.
It's all over the world. You talk to people, and it's like...
And people are like you, they're spread out into homes.
That's good. Well, can't we get it together? Is there some way to get this together?
Yeah, you buy land and you start calling people like Pangaya did.
Most of the next client that I could go work with to have the money to buy the land, I get way more.
If I did that, I would be already have my land built.
That's what I think.
My clinic would already be going.
Just got